people took over the shop, and O'Neill and his mum and dad disappeared and things went back to normal. It surprised me a bit, because I'd really thought Maya would be all broken up and weepy, but luckily Uncle Kev chose that moment to have one of his bright ideas. He and Maya and Auntie Megs were all going to go and live in a cottage on the Isle of Skye for a month. They were going to be entirely self-sufficient, like gas and electricity and stuff had never been invented, and then he was going to write a book about it. Another book. Well, the book never got written, and by the time they came home, Maya had more or less forgotten about O'Neill, but it had been really tiresome while it lasted. I was just hoping this thing she was obviously getting about Jake wouldn't develop into a full-blown crush. I wasn't sure I could take it all over again. She was still obsessively checking out every blue car that drove past. Big ones, small ones, just so long as they were blue. I hadn't realised there were so many of them. Blue must be a really popular colour. I would have red if it was me. That was a Toyota, I said as another one flashed past. Toyota's no good. From behind me came an indignant squawk. Who says? I spun round. Oh, horrible! Lindsay Baxter had snuck up behind us. I'd forgotten she got the bus. Ours is a Toyota, she said. I said, yes, well, we're looking for a Fiat. Why? Said Lindsay. 'Cause it's what Jake Harper drives. I couldn't resist adding, he gave us a lift home yesterday. Really? Her eyes narrowed. She didn't like that. I could almost hear the jealous thoughts whizzing round her brain. How come he's giving lifts to these total nobodies? In the distance, at the top of the hill, I could see a bus coming towards us. As it drew near, Maya suddenly clutched at me. Mattie, is that a Fiat? This time she was right. It was a Fiat, and Jake was at the wheel. Maya was already dancing about on tiptoe, waving her arms in the air. I made a grab at her. Maya, stop it! But it's Jake! I know, but this is a bus lane. He can't pull up here. If I hadn't got hold of her, she'd have gone running off down the road, windmilling her arms in the hope of attracting his attention. I practically had to drag her onto the bus. Lindsay followed as I pushed a reluctant Maya in front of me up the stairs. The minute we reached the top deck, she raced to the nearest window to watch as Jake drove past. Lindsay, to my enormous joy, plonked herself down next to me on the back seat. What's she up to? She said. Oh, I waved a hand. I dunno. She thought he might give us a lift again. Lindsay regarded Maya in silence for a few seconds. Maya was standing with her nose pressed against the glass. She looked like a child wistfully gazing into a toy shop. Lindsay shook her head. Pathetic, she said. I bristled at that. It's hardly Maya's fault if she has a mum who is permanently anxious and a dad who is always rushing off in all directions, leaving them to cope without him. It would be enough, I should think, to make anyone pathetic. I don't know how you put up with her, said Lindsay. She's my cousin, I said. Lots of my friends wonder how I manage, on the whole, to be patient with Maya, but they are my friends. Friends have the right to ask that sort of question. Plus, they understand when I tell them about Mum and Auntie Megs being twins and me feeling the need to look out for Maya. Lindsay Baxter was not my friend, and I had no intention of explaining myself to her. Why did he give you a lift anyway? She said. The cheek of it! What did it have to do with her? I was still trying to think of a suitably crushing response when Maya suddenly decided to join in the conversation. She sank down into the seat in front of us and draped herself over the back, her eyes shining. He rescued me, she said. I came off my bike and he rescued me. He was so sweet. He picked me up and drove us home, and then he carried me into the house because I couldn't walk. If Jake hadn't been there, I don't know what we'd have done. We might have had to call an ambulance. Mightn't we? I shrugged. I did wish Maya hadn't felt the need to tell everything to Lindsay. She obviously wasn't impressed. She is not the sort of girl to be impressed. She gave Maya this long, unblinking stare, then said, Yeah, right. Even then Maya didn't get the message.